can you give me an idea of the numbers? If I was a farmer out there, I can either go the conventional way, or I can go the Akili way. Give me an idea of the numbers. Crunch for me the numbers.
Okay,
how much will I make if I go this way or that way, and that sort of thing. Give me an idea.
Let's start with honey.
Okay.
If you keep a regular beehive, you will sell your honey for 200 shillings per kilo. That is retail. Most likely the brokers and the other people, etc., will eat half of that.
Oh my goodness.
So you, the farmer, will be getting something like 80 to 100 shillings per kilo.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day. But if you go the Akili way, first of all, on the honey alone, we help you now to develop a beehive that has got 5 stories, if you like. You understand? So already that increases your production 5 times. But the total income also, it is the wholesale price, which could be about 150 shillings, to you, coming directly to you on and multiplied 5 times because you are working with better capacity. Now let's look at another example, leather. Okay, if you at the moment sell a hide, in most places in the rural areas, the leather, the hide, the cow hide, cost about maybe 50 shillings. But we have the technique, for example, for showing you, the group, how to process it locally so that your leather piece now moves from 50 shillings to about 1,000 shillings to you.
I'm trying to
so you're talking about real increase in numbers, but the increase is coming from the value addition. Until you do value addition and you get the raw price, nobody in the world has ever gotten wealthy by selling anything raw. Even
you
mafuta,
have to process it.
Even mafuta, the only reason why the people who sell oil are able to get a good price is because of controlling the distribution channel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And even milk, you know, I mean, if you took yogurt, a half liter, when you go to the supermarket, you buy it for about 65 shillings. The total cost of processing that yogurt is maybe about 10 to 15 shillings for the half liter. But how
much does the farmer get?
How much does the farmer get? Between 18 shillings and 24 shillings.
It almost sounds too good to be true.
Yes.
What I can see in the midst of all that numerous challenges, what are some of the challenges that you faced, even as you try to set this up and change our ways of thinking in regards to business?
First of all, the first major challenge is just the farmers that the farmers have been cheated and taken advantage of for so long that when you come on the ground, they take you as one of the other thieves. You understand? And so if you don't show them a result like within 1 month, the following month they're already beginning to say, wow, what do we think about this guy? So just winning trust is a long journey, and it will take us maybe the better part of the next 3 years or something like that.
Before people can actually
because you have to develop a product, begin like what we have done with the French bean farmers, who I think when the calling starts, you can hear some of them calling. We now have French bean farmers who are getting a good income in the hundreds of thousands in their pockets, but they have gone through 2 whole seasons, a whole year. It has taken that long to get them to that level. Now, so that's the first challenge, convincing the farmers that this is something they need to stick on. But also dealing with the cartels along the way. And when we talk about cartels, people only think about brokers. But the distributors, the outlets for selling are all cartels. Supermarkets in Kenya will typically keep your money for about 90 to 120 days. That's a cost. It's a huge
farmer
cost.
At home is expecting you to pay them on the same day.
The farmer will foot the bill. If the money is coming from the bank will expect its interest. If there is a distributor in between that needs to be paid, you have to be paid. That's another big challenge.
So you have to look, Akili has to look for the money from somewhere else, pay off the farmer while you wait.
And that's why it needs to be a partnership, socially, publicly, and with investors.
Social entrepreneurship of some sort.
And let me say something here about the Asian community, who are very often criticized and so they are taking advantage of people. I have been very happy in the period that I've been dealing with the Akili project that there are very many Asian businessmen who are saying, if I can find a way of doing business directly with a community and paying them a fair wage, I'm prepared. I'm open for that. Also, the fair trade movement, for which our groups are getting involved in. In Europe, we have got a supermarket that is buying French beans directly from the farmers in Gishogo constituency at a fair price. The produce is leaving from there, going directly to a supermarket in Europe at a fair price. Recently, when the farmers lost money on they planted a crop that failed, through the fair trade movement, the fair trade bonus now became available. It has not been paid, but it will be paid in the next maybe 1 or so months to compensate them for the loss they went through when they made a loss. So you can see there are both benefits and huge challenges, but most of the trouble is the fact that you need social support to be able to promote the idea, to encourage people, to support them, even as a stopgap measure, to be paying farmers in between while you're waiting, for example, for your cheese to mature or something like that.
Speaking of cheese, actually, let's pick up on that. What happens when, like now, for example, you said some of your cheese is held up somewhere. The farmers are expecting to be paid. What have you been able to do to mitigate such challenges, to deal with them?
We are dealing with the challenges. The challenges are right there, right now as we speak. Most of the cheese that, for example, we made in October, November is still in the cold room. It's
waiting for KEBS certification.
Waiting for KEBS certification. But in the meantime, there have been a number of investment clubs, some of them that provided some little money that held us going for a few months. At the moment, we are inviting more investment clubs because ultimately this is a good thing for everybody. If you invest in Akili as an investment club and in the company, and you wait for your return to come, you will get a return because we'll make a profit. But in the meantime, you'll stop subsidizing your mother back home because your mother is able to get a better price for her produce.
From that same Akili?
Yeah, from that same Akili. So it's a true partnership between groups. And here, because I know Kenyans are trying to invest, and Kenyans are looking for a way to channel their money into something that is profitable, I really encourage investment clubs to come on board into the Akili. If you have an accountant, say, background, you can sit in the board and assist with accounting. If you are a company secretary, we have a role for you. If you have got money that you want to invest as an investment club, instead of all of us just buying property and building on property, let's invest in a company that is processing products for the benefit of your local communities. So if you own a shop, let's get that shop to be selling Akili products. Because by selling those Akili products, like for example, we have a group, an investment club of young university graduates I would like to talk about. 3 university graduates. One is, 2 of them are ICT graduates. Another one is a food sciences graduate. And they got together. They were running some businesses here in Nairobi. And they agreed to invest in the Akili project. These are young people. They say, we don't have capital, but we can invest our time. And they went to Mwea, and in Mwea, they established what are called Akili milk points. And they are selling that milk directly from the farmers directly to the market. Now, those are young people that have found a job to do.
Not necessarily being employed,
absolutely. So everybody can play a part, can benefit.
Question, let's talk a bit about the political class. How far have they supported you? How many MPs have walked with you into their constituencies? And of course, how do you protect your project from derailment?
Akili project is in 20 constituencies in Kenya. Okay? All the way from Mandera East to Turkana, Garsen, Bura, Central, several places, Mathira, Mukurweini, Gishugu, etc., and even Mount Elgon. So we are all over Kenya. Now, I think when the project started and when UNDP were involved in facilitating training, I can say there were a number of MPs that thought that maybe this is something that will be donor funded for a long time. And so they came in very, very quickly. They were very, very supportive. But when the reality that they have to make a contribution on the ground came on, of course, a few stepped back. So there are some MPs that stepped back a little bit and are waiting. There are MPs.
They want to see whether it will work.
Yeah, like MPs like Martha Karua, Ali Hassan Mohammed of Mandera East, people like there are MPs like Turkana Central, Ekwethuro, who have really stepped into this program and said we will support it fully and we are working. And because the project is a long-term thing, it's not a problem. Even if we focus on one constituency or 2 or 3 constituencies for a short time and then we'll move on to others, it's all right. When we develop a product, our principle is very simple. We develop a product that is national, like a honey or a royal jelly or like whatever.
Country,
so, but the produce will come from many constituencies to support that one product. So, we are right now in the process of developing a baton from horns and from hooves. You understand? When we have a button from a hoof or a bone, that button can get the raw material from Mandera East. The material can come from Masai Lad. The material can come from elsewhere.
So you just put them together.
Yes. So the point is as how quickly do we expect an MP to join in with his community? That's entirely up to that particular community. But the product will be ready for them when they are there. We already have enough MPs that are supportive in providing facilities for bulking centers, and that's good enough to get started with.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now,